I see it, Barry. This should be a very dynamite show.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Studio. I'm your host, Ted Perch. And today, once again, we are in beautiful downtown Palmer, Massachusetts at the Day and Night Diner again. And this time we're going to talk to the proprietor, Carl Williams, about his life growing up in Munson and living here in Palmer and how he got into all this. So
Springfield first, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. My father moved us to Springfield. He worked at the Bay State Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Started the psychiatric program there in '62.
Oh, your dad was a doctor?
Yeah,
Oh,
psychiatrist, yeah.
Wow.
And that's where I'm heading with this because... And then things were... He wanted a farm, so we moved to Munson. From Springfield, living by Bay State Hospital, moving to almost 100-acre farm. I go, what do you do out here? I go, this is different.
Yeah.
But then you get into dirt bike riding, camping out, and it's the way to grow up.
So this was in the 50s, 60s?
69, I think.
69. Yeah.
And I guess the riots were still going
Well,
on.
you go from an urban area like Springfield or anything. I live near New Haven.
Yeah.
You go from there out to what was then a really rural area.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
I know at first we used to take our bicycles down to Main Street, Springfield, and go to whatever, the Dairy Queen, or have fun down there. And there was a lot to do. And then out here, you got to make your own fun. Thank God we didn't have cell phones back then.
Oh yeah, no. So in Springfield, Springfield has got a lot. It's got a lot of history.
Yeah, I mean, it does first on a lot.
A lot of notable people came from Springfield, and I know the Springfield museums. You go there.
Oh, we used to go there in Johnson's bookstore. That smell of those old books is still in my nose.
The museum is just so fascinating because you see how much the manufacturing base was.
Yeah.
All those things.
Tons of things.
Tons of stuff. It's airplanes.
Yeah. Invented basketball. Indian motorcycle, I believe.
Yeah.
And I thought Mercedes-Benz had something there for a while. One of the car companies.
Yeah, one of the car companies did,
yeah.
So you're growing up in the middle of all that going on, but by then it was kind of tapering off a little bit.
Yeah.
So you move out to Munson.
Yeah.
Which is, in those days, the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere,
right?
exactly.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere too, so I'm quite familiar with
the houses there.
Yeah.
There was now.
Yeah.
But
no, I was lucky when I grew up. We had a neighborhood, but our little area, we had a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So we always had always had other guys to play with. We always had enough number for a baseball game or a football game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you say, we had to make
neighborhood kids.
We had to make our own fun.
Yeah.
We went. Now I don't know much about Munson, but the river flows through there. So did you ever like pond hockey and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we not as much with that, but some of the neighbors we did the hockey on the little ponds, and they seemed bigger back then. I see them now. It looks like a puddle.
Yeah, how did we all fit on this?
I don't know. We probably didn't.
I remember crowds of people on this pond. It's like, and I drive by every now and then. I don't go that way much anymore.
Tiny.
But it looks tiny. It's like, how the hell?
Yeah. And then
we were all much smaller.
Oh yes, we fit more little kids there.
Yeah.
And we had horses and.
So on your farm.
Yeah, my father. My sister showed him. My dad raced them. And
no kidding.
Yeah, thoroughbred. So we picked up the hay. Well, that was nice back then.
Wow.
I could pick up a pool table.
Yeah. Where did that go?
Away.
So you had thoroughbred racehorses.
Yeah,
no kidding.
And jumpers and stuff like that. But the boys.
What was the name of the farm?
I don't know if Scotty's Barn.
Oh, okay.
Was on it. But my younger brother Scott, his name was Scott, and he didn't like that.
He didn't like the name, or didn't like horses?
Didn't like his name on the barn.
Oh yeah,
it was there forever. And when my dad bought it, it was it was all broken down, but he fixed it all up.
Wow.
Real nice. And it was a wonderful place to grow up.
So I'm stuck on thoroughbred racehorses out here. Where did he?
Rockingham, Suffolk Downs.
Oh my God!
Finger
Yes.
Lakes in New York, and
wow.
one time they brought him to Florida when the trainer went
Yeah.
for the winter. But
No kidding.
nice.
Saratoga?
I'm not positive. I know I've been there because I remember the TVs in the trees.
Yeah.
I guess they have that in the back part of it or something like that.
Oh, no
but
kidding.
I
Wow.
finally went back there with a buddy of mine, Nick, and we went there for a race day.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. The girls still wear those big hats.
Yeah.
Like at the big races, and it was just beautiful.
No kidding. So you traveled around? So you went to all these tracks, or that was something?
I went when I could. He usually went during the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I never got into one of the pictures, so I thought I was bad luck.
Oh, wow. So.
Yeah, my brother. It was fun.
Oh, yeah, sure.
When you look down where the jockeys are getting ready with the horse, we could go down there. That was a special treat. And then they put the little guy on the horse, and off they go.
Look, it's like being on the infield. You could just go around the stables and stuff.
Exactly.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then go in the back where they keep the horses and eat at their diner kitchen there. That was kind of cool too, because no one else could.
Wow.
But the owners.
I'm impressed. I mean.
Yeah, that was fun.
My daughter has had a couple of horses over the years, and I used to think I grew up in the middle of dairy country. So the town I grew up in, North Haven, Connecticut, was where I grew up. It was all, we were surrounded by dairy farms, small family dairy farms. Yeah. So I knew all about cows, but horses were like,
no.
See,
if I was fortunate to get a farm, I would have things you could eat, not hay burners anymore.
Well, so I've always kind of, at first I was kind of like afraid of horses. She wanted to get a horse, and I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I started 9
but
10,
once I
had to reach up for
them. Once I became familiar with how they behaved, I used to say everything I know I learned from watching my daughter's horse.
Oh yeah.
They would graze around, and they're very. Well, anyways,
they can sense fear. I think.
Oh yeah, they're
even as a little tiny kid, I would put my shoulder in them so they know I'm there, and you can. It's better to do it
when
like
you're grooming them, you always have your hand on them.
Yeah.
Because they, especially when you get behind them, they can't see you. So if you're talking to them, if you have your hand on them, at least they know where you are.
You're there.
Yeah.
Oh, one time my sister gave the prizes out for the Grange Fair in Palmer.
Oh yeah.
And I was walking behind, a cardinal sin to walk behind the horses.
That's
like
right.
That. I had 2 feet come right around my legs. I missed being kicked by inches.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so I never did that again.
No, you have to really you have to be really careful, and you have to know what you're doing. Because I was just reading in the news this morning that Princess Anne in England got bumped on her head somehow. I don't think she got kicked, but she's been around horses all her life, and out of nowhere she gets knocked down, and so anyways, how many horses did you have?
Oh God, the small barn was a 10-stall barn, and
wow.
we did breeding and all that, so they kept coming. And the big barn had like 2 or 3, but that was mostly for holding hay.
Yeah.
In the hay loft. My dad never bought a conveyor belt, so us boys had to throw it up in there. The boys
had to throw it up in there. Yeah, we did that too.
It's good, honest work, except for when it's 95 and humid. Remember that?
We really looked forward to that. Around this time of year, across the street from our house, there was a large hay field.
Yeah.
And one of the local farmers leased it out, and he would bale the hay.
Yeah.
So around this time of year, when school got out, he would be baling hay, and we would go over just on our own.
Yeah.
He never asked us.
Oh yeah.
And we'd get up on the wagon and throwing bales up there, and then we'd go up to the farm and load up the barn. Because it was fun to do.
Yeah.
It was.
It is. It's something different. And then I bet like my mom, your mom, whoever cooked for everyone at the end. And
I don't remember that part. I don't remember that part, but
God bless her. Yeah,
we would
she
just.
Was awesome.
So your mother was just a homemaker, or
she was born in Finland.
Yeah.
And came over this country about probably 18 years old.
Wow.
Was a maid, of course. That about the immigration, but we won't bring that up now.
Yeah.
But and then she met my dad and married right and never looked back.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, my father was Finnish also, but
Oh,
his
wow.
grandparents came over.
Yeah, you told me last time that your last name is changed because
Peasbonen, but translated to English, it's Bishop. Where they came up with Williams, who knows? But they did it to a lot of people.
they said, okay, your name is Williams now. You know, everybody's got a story of, unpronounceable last names.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Whatever, Williams, or, they changed it, anglicized it, so a lot of people lost their birth names, but...
My mother kept hers Helanen, but then now Williams,
Yeah. That's a pretty familiar name, Helanen.
Yeah.
Or,
Miria Helanen.
Yeah, because I lived for a while down in Willimantic, just south of here. Yeah. And there's a cluster of Finnish names that would come up. Yeah. Well, it seems to me is that after the war, a lot of people immigrated, from Europe, came over from Europe and worked in the mills. So you had Swedes and Poles and Ukrainians and Finns and everybody.
Yeah.
So you hear a lot in this area too, because of all of the mills and so forth. So there was a mix of all sorts of nationalities.
Quarries they worked at.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to speak the language at the
That's right. You didn't have to. Yeah.
Worked hard, I bet too.
So your parents have this farm. Your dad's a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
You have this farm, and you and your brother and sister.
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
Sister.
Are they older or younger?
Two sister and brother older than my younger.
So you're kind of in the middle.
Carl, Lee, and Steve. Yeah.
So you're kind of in the middle.
I'm the neglected middle child.
Yeah, I know how that. I know how that is.
None of us were. And so I got out of high school. I go, what am I going to do? So I ended up trying to follow in his footsteps. I went to AIC.
Yeah.
Got a psych degree, SOS degree, minor in business also.
Yeah.
So I started working in the field. And the people you're working with are a little bit weirder than the ones you're trying to help. So I go,
Yeah.
So I found a diner for sale after doing all kinds of other jobs, and I go, this is it, 1986.
That's it, huh? That's it. That was it.
That was it.
Huh.
And I liked it. I always liked to cook and stuff like that, and wanted my own business somehow. I tried other things in the past, but you can't be with a partner back then. They take your money and run. So
partnerships are difficult at times.
Difficult,
Yeah. Family businesses are tough too.
Yeah. I paid for everything myself. When I bought it, I co-signed, so that was nice of them.
Yeah.
But I worked my way, paid everything, and that's that.
And here you are, all these 86, that 40 years later.
Well, I was away for 8 or 9 years in the middle. I thought the grass was greener, but it wasn't. So
where did you go?
I went all over. I did
construction.
I bought a pizza shop in Springfield. I worked at hotels as management.
I
had the degree, so I went right into that.
Yeah.
Which I did use my degree for.
Hospitality, right?
Hospitality. I always liked that kind of thing. And, oh God, when I got sick of not working after a month or so, I worked at the Piccadilly pub and the host hotel. The hiring guy there. So he said, what are you doing here, Carl? You want to run this? So I said, okay. And then I ran the Ox Head Tavern, and then they moved me up to night manager / beverage manager. And they were about to send me to Pennsylvania for food and beverage director. That's the second best job.
Yeah.
But I found this pizza shop for sale on Dwight Street in Springfield. And of course, the first 2 weeks, people had money to buy it. The second 2 weeks, their checks ran out in my district. So So then I stuck it out for a year and sold it.
Yeah.
And then worked at the Springfield Sheridan. For a while, and then I did. After that, I worked at a gas fireplace. Sent me to school, learn how to tune it up, and marble and mantle and all that stuff. But carpentry, I never had experience with that, and trying to set the mantelpiece on the wall. If the framer doesn't do it right, the wall goes crooked.
Everything is crooked.
And I call my boss. I can't. well, how do you put this? Chicken soup out of chicken doo-doo, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
another way of saying it. And then I talked to all the old French carpenters. They showed me how to scribe the wall, and I got pretty good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a young man's job, because a big piece of marble, you have to walk up a plank into the house. So
I did construction as well.
Yeah, so
when I was younger, and I'm still paying for it with
Yeah.
with a herniated disc.
oh yeah, yeah.
After humping sheetrock up
oh, that's a tough
in the
one.
city, up 2 flights of stairs and
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and doing heavy lifting.
Shingles or anything like that.
Anything like that, yeah.
I tried
But
that stuff too.
but it was great work. I mean,
Yeah.
I still do.
Honest work. Yeah.
I'm able to still do my own home repairs and
that's
things like
good.
that. So because I learned
That's
what I needed to know.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, it's a young man's work. I
yes,
mean,
it is.
one day I got. Oh no, I know what happened. We were working on a roof.
Yeah.
Scaffolding collapsed.
Ooh.
I have no memory of it. All I remember, I was nailing a shingle, and then I was lying on the ground looking up at the sky.
Oh my God.
It's like, I think maybe I should
Try something else.
try something else. I got scars all over my hands. I got, it's like, it just got to be where I'm thinking, I enjoy doing this, but
I know. And then
in the winter
nail
sometimes
guns.
there was no work. We didn't have nail guns then.
Yeah, back then, yeah. But now I hear the people putting their finger against
Yeah.
the wall and letting it go by accident.
Yeah,
and-
that happened to a colleague of mine.
yeah.
He was
and
framing
I know
up, and
2 people it happened to went through. Oh,
So-
that's got to be horrible.
yeah. So it's a young man's job. And
Yeah.
So you're in food service and restaurateuring, which that's difficult as well.
A lot of pressure, yeah. And then when you're done, you're not done. You're shopping or whatever.
Yeah. And it depending on your foot traffic coming through, because we always see you drive around here often enough, and you see, oh, this place is open.
Yeah.
You come back a couple of months later, no, they're gone.
Yeah.
So unless you have the foot traffic, and unless you have the menu that catches people's fancy,
Yeah.
you don't last.
They like it here. It's home cooked food.
Oh yeah.
It
What's
hasn't
not to
been
like?
sitting in the bag for 2 weeks and then shipped to the store.
Yeah, yeah. What's not to like? The Day and Night Diner here in North Main Street?
Mm-hmm.
North Main Street in Palmer.
Yeah.
And if you're, I think we said the last time, if you were on your way to Brimfield Flea Markets, which is going to be in a couple of weeks now. This is the last week in
second
June.
one.
So the second one is about 3 weeks from now. Second week in
That's
July.
always a good bump in business. I love it when they
Yeah.
come in here.
It depends on the weather, but
Oh, in the 80s, they never had all the food carts there.
no, right.
It was a non-stop line from 5 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, getting
And,
there.
Oh, was that good. But then everyone got the idea of food trucks. You can't beat them, join them. That's probably what I need.
Yeah, we were talking last time. You were
Yeah.
thinking of maybe trying something like that out.
Yeah, could be my retirement job.
You know.
Not 7 days, just 4.
So you're here in 1986. So you bounce around and you just and
Yeah.
you find and this place was for sale.
Yeah, I kept begging them for 2 years. Ready to sell it back, and they finally did. And I always lived right next door, so the commute is horrible.
Oh, it's terrible. You got to
so
walk
if
10
it's
steps.
snowy, you got to go through the
Oh,
snow to get
uphill
10
both
steps.
ways.
Uphill both ways.
I think I can see your front door from here.
I
But
know.
yeah, it's terrible.
And the closer you are, the more you're late. So it's weird how that.
Yeah,
works
you
out.
figure, well, 30
Oh, I got
seconds.
A minute.
Yeah, I got a minute, 30 seconds.
Watch the news a little more.
Next thing you know, it's 20 minutes later,
Yeah.
and they're sitting out front. Where are you?
Outside blowing on the horn.
Yeah, where are you?
That doesn't happen much, but
No. So you're here in 1986, and you're working, and you own this place, and you're doing it now. You're also a town councilor.
oh yes, yeah.
So how did that happen?
Almost 20 years.
How did that happen?
Well, there was one that bowed out about 20 years, and my friend, actually it's a chief's brother,
Yeah.
Chris Burns. It was his brother that invited me to come in to try out for it, and I loved it ever since. It's something different to do, and and to go get signatures, and
Oh, I see. I was going to say, how do you try out to be on the city council?
you got to get voted in.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
At first, there was an opening, so they had to get someone. So
Yeah.
just the council,
Yeah.
let me in. that time, but ever since that, every 3 years.
You got to go campaigning?
Campaigning.
Yeah, that must be fun.
Oh, God, it's horrible to go door to door because people don't know who you are as you're coming up to the door and they're rolling their eyes, I'm sure.
Locking the doors. Get away. But they know you now.
Yeah, they know. Well, it's easier because I'm in this district down here, so hopefully they'll see me coming and know who I am. I'm not a killer.
That's Carl.
That's Carl. Lock the door.
What does he want now? What's he gonna do now?
He has no food in his hand.
So 20 years you're a counselor. That's a good long stretch.
Yeah, and I think it's about that. I just was out for 3 years out of all that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still enjoy it, you know.
I love it. I love it because you learn the ins and outs, even in small towns.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, you know, and proving you try to do the best for your constituents about not spending the tax money or spending it wisely, and I don't know, but they say it's a thankless job, but I enjoy it.
Well,
people, I'm the only one out here in the open that they can come and complain to too.
They line up.
Yeah, they line up.
Yeah,
but there hasn't been too much complaining in the last whatever year. Things have been going smooth. We're fixing bridges and
fixing the roads yet.
Roads and some has to be done. And sidewalks is a big thing.
It's true everywhere. It's not just here.
Yeah, everywhere. They're making it tougher and tougher. School committee needs money.
We keep having children.
I know. And this graduating class is so much smaller.
Yeah.
There's I think they said there are 30 to 40 kids in the whole class.
Yeah.
But then they must have started a new session, or they liked each other. In Stafford, there was 150 in their class, or 170. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
One of my granddaughters, they have graduation out of 8th grade in Connecticut. I don't think they do it in Mass.
They do? I think.
I'm not positive. It's been a long time for me.
Yeah. I guess some towns do probably. But.
Yeah. And then the other one, Madison just turned 10.
Yeah.
And this is how we can segue into her artist abilities.
Apparently she's an up-and-coming artist. She has some talent. And
I can't even draw a stick figure like we talked about.
Well, I'll stick these in later as well, but these are some of her artwork. We have a sea otter.
Yeah.
And that really is a sea otter.
It is.
It just really is.
There's another one here, and you can tell it is one.
Absolutely.
And then a turtle, a corgi dog. She asked people in the diner, "What do you want me to draw in here for you?" She said it, and she just did it.
Yeah, cool.
They're both real wonderful. They make my life.
So you have 2 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Both girls?
Both girls.
Yeah.
At first I go, why isn't there a boy in there? But
there just isn't.
There just isn't.
Sorry, but there isn't.
But it's been so wonderful.
Yeah.
We have every princess castle if someone needs one. I don't know if they outgrew it yet.
Yeah.
I think at that age they did.
Well, I have 2 granddaughters as well. One
even go fishing with me.
Yeah.
And the little one, at 4 years old, put her own worm on the hook. I don't even think I wanted to put, whatever. No, I did.
I don't remember, but yeah.
But that was amazing, and they're competitive with everything.
Yeah.
Especially fishing.
Huh.
Well, the younger one is Madison.
So you grew up in. I'm going to go back a little bit because we're talking about Munson, and they go through there on our way south through Stafford and Willimantic. Yeah. So you grew up sort of in Munson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, until I was I forgot when I moved out of there, probably when I was, 26 probably when I got this.
And you can
I moved to an apartment there and then Wilbraham or whatever.
Yeah, you can still see some of the traces of the tornado that went through there years ago.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm telling you, I never would have believed a tornado would come through here. Maybe some real bad winds, but I was sitting in my bedroom. I saw on the TV, it's coming from Ludlow. It's coming, or that way.
Yeah.
So I'm looking out the window, and I'm going, oh, no. The next day, I think, what if it really did come through? They would have sucked me out of the window. I would have been in a tree and without a dog named Toto.
Take my diner, please.
The insurance is paid. No, I would die.
One thing I think of, someone I know who grew up in Munson as well, Ruth Sanderson.
I know that.
She's an artist. Ruth's mother was the librarian.
Okay, that rings a bell.
But anyway, she was telling me that there was a person who developed kind of a theme park down there.
Oh, you mean up by the soccer fields? There used to be like wild lions and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
At the turn of the century or something.
There was
like
some
that.
kind of like a theme park,
and
there was
track too.
There was some buildings there.
Yeah, Dr. Rogers Field.
Okay.
Up there, I went through, played soccer for months in after cross country first, and then played at AIC, and then All-Star teams. We went to Europe a couple years. That was a ball. That was fun.
Oh, you went to Europe?
Yeah, twice on an All-Star team.
No kidding.
When I was like 20.
This is volleyball?
I'm sorry?
What sport?
Soccer.
Oh, soccer. You did say
Soccer.
that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and our Belgium team was excellent. Even the other teams were trying to buy some of our players.
No kidding.
And they go, no, this is just for fun. We don't play professional. But I don't know if the coach was talking for them or not. But
no kidding.
Yeah.
Where else did you play?
Norway, Denmark, and Sweden.
Yeah.
And I played every day, so I couldn't go over and see my grandfather. In
Oh,
Finland,
yeah, of course.
But both wonderful experiences.
I'd say, wow. Now that was just one season, or did you go?
Just for a couple weeks every time.
A couple of weeks every
And
summer.
then I was so fascinated by Europe. The first honeymoon I went on, I went there for almost a month on a Euro train pass, and I went from Germany down to Florence.
Yeah.
Right through the Alps and everything like that. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh man, that was every young man's fantasy.
It is, and I
backpacking in Europe.
Yeah.
You get a Eurail pass and you just
stay
go.
At hostels and they're wicked cheap. Maybe you get a meal out of some of them.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Wow.
Yeah. And now
you're a man of the world, Carl.
Now I'm in the twilight years, and
okay.
Close. I'm knocking on the door.
Yeah.
But I still would love to do some more traveling, but probably in America.
Absolutely.
Because I haven't seen everything here, and there's a lot to see in our countries.
Yes, there is. I've made a point of doing some traveling out west, in New Mexico and places, and just to see I'd love to go to Europe. I never have.
Oh yeah.
I went to Hawaii.
Cool. It's cool, and the food is. They do it differently. Every household has a small refrigerator.
Yeah.
Because they shop
every day.
And everything's fresh.
Yeah.
And then we have these big lunkers that you stuff everything in there.
Well, because Europe is kind of geographically smaller, people live in cities and stuff, so that's more. It just has probably just been the habit of, rather like we do. I mean, from here, where's the closest grocery store?
Well,
like a Big
Y up the hill.
Big up the hill. So
they don't have another one. They probably should have a second one, because they used to have Food Basket and another store like that. And
so we have to travel some to get groceries. Anyway, so you went to Europe. That's cool.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And I'm glad I did it when I was young, because I could keep moving.
Yeah. And now you have to. Let's stop here for a little while.
Let's rest here.
So were you able to do any like sightseeing, or were you just concentrating on?
On the soccer. Yeah, they still had all kinds of things in between the games.
Yeah.
So we would go to like car museums.
Yeah.
Castles and stuff like that. Always doing something every day.
Yeah.
And I found out on, is it Rudolph the Reindeer, a Burgermeister Burger?
Yeah.
It was, like a mayor of a town.
Yeah.
We were in, I don't know if it was Brussels or one of the smaller towns, and we're going to go meet the Burgermeister. I go, what? I thought that was just in Rudolph or whatever the film was, but it's a real guy.
Right, yeah.
That's what they call the mayor, and I kind of chuckled, but...
Yeah. Well, they have, everything's different over there.
Yeah, I know. They have different words for everything.
They have different words for everything.
There's too many countries.
Yeah. Wow.
And Paris I stopped at too, and by the Eiffel Tower, of course.
Yeah.
But I couldn't speak much French, and the lady wouldn't help me to order.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the international language years and years and years ago was French, and it changed to English, and I think they're still bitter about it. That's what I'm told. I don't know if it's true or not.
What I remember hearing was that the language of diplomacy is French.
Yeah.
Language of business is English.
Okay. Yeah.
Go to Montreal.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and when I went to Montreal at least once, I don't speak any French at all. I don't know any phrases, you know.
Yeah.
Asking people for directions, perhaps.
Yeah.
They wouldn't answer.
Yeah.
Because if unless you spoke French, they weren't. You know, they were particularly sensitive about it then.
Yeah.
Probably still are, because they were in the midst of.
Try. They'll help.
Well, they were in the midst of, should we separate from Canada or not?
Yeah.
So they were, you know, regular citizens were saying, well, we're a French province and we speak French and that's our first language. And if you don't speak French, go away.
Yeah.
You know, well, okay.
We're proud of their language.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
Also,
So anyway, so, you know, if you don't, you always try, I think one of the tips you get as a traveler is try and learn a few phrases.
Yeah.
Where's the bathroom?
Yeah, those are important.
Number one, where's the bathroom? You know, where's the bus station?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
In Germany, one of the first words I learned is "Bitte Bier," and I guess it refers to large beer, please.
Yeah,
type thing. Big one.
Yeah.
Oh, Belgium and German beers, the ones that I have tried, those were just like a food group in themselves.
Yeah, they always say American beer is like bleh.
Yeah.
You know, we've pasteurized the heck out of it.
Yeah.
And you know, because even English beer,
preservatives.
even English beer, it's got substance to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now this was when you were in AIC in college. You went
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. No, the almost 4 week was when I was like 30.
Oh.
You know, I had help here that would cover.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I could leave for that time.
So it's kind of like semi-pro soccer?
Oh, that's just going for
that just went, a quick trip.
My first wife.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah. What an experience.
Yeah, everyone should go. They say everyone should go somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know.
somewhere else, and you'd appreciate where you're from.
Yeah, because
I've been everywhere, but you do want to come home.
Yes.
You know, it's funny.
Well, a lot of thing you hear over the years is that Americans are kind of insular. You know, we don't get out much.
Yeah.
So the saying was, well, take a trip to Europe, go to Canada, go to Mexico, go anything to broaden your perspective, so you get to see how the rest of the world.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
The world is round. There are other people on the other side of the Atlantic.
I know.
And it can be a real eye opener in a good way. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So you got the restaurant, and you're a town councilor too.
Yeah.
And now you're like a couple of grandchildren.
Yeah.
So this is, I don't know if this is kind of like a leading question, but what's the future of the diner?
I'm not sure. Maybe a younger person should take it over where they can open it back up.
Yeah.
To where it should be, you know, lunch and dinners.
Yeah.
You know, I know from the pandemic or whatever you want to call it, a lot of nighttime business goes on now because, you know, they want to get out. So there's opportunity here for someone full-time.
Yeah.
But the realtors were bugging me last year.
Yeah.
And sell the 3-family and this. They go, start at this number and let the bidding war go.
Yeah, what they're going to do is tear it all down.
Yeah, put a Starbucks in here.
Whatever. They're going to tear it down and,
Yeah. But I don't know when I'm going to retire. I just can't pull the trigger, but I'm getting the feeling. I talk about it at least.
Yeah, you know, I retired 12 years ago, and I had thought, well, okay. And then one day I got out of bed and I thought, you know, I want to do something else.
Yeah.
You know, or something. I want to do something else. I've done what my work was for 35 years. Yeah. I was good with it. It's time to move on. It's basically time to move on and try something new. get into something new and expand my life a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
It just
I know I'll
one
be
day it
sick
just
of
came.
retirement.
Yeah.
Not shortly after, so I have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, body in motion stays in motion.
Well, this is true. Yeah.
You just can't sit on the recliner and drink beer.
No,
you won't last long.
You won't last long, and it's boring. As
Yeah.
you know, no, you don't want to do that. But
Yeah.
no,
I couldn't.
you're a motorcycle rider, right?
Oh yeah, I got a Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a BMW.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I almost bought one of those. I love those.
Well, the one I had I sold mine last year because one day I was out riding and I got back home and I'm thinking, God, that was an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
It's just, this bike is just too heavy.
Oh,
All of a sudden
you
I was
have a big one
feeling,
then.
my age, I
Yeah.
guess, you know.
Yeah.
So I sold it and I bought another one,
There you go.
a 750. This was
Yeah.
it's slightly smaller, a little lower to the ground. It's 125 pounds lighter.
Oh wow.
So I can still ride and
Yeah.
not have to make. Hopefully, that's not going to be such an effort. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah. A counselor once told me it's wind therapy.
Absolutely.
You have the worst day, you hop on that thing and you're smiling.
That's right. My doctor once
Something
gave me.
about it.
My doctor once gave me this his prescription. He says, "Go ride your motorcycle,"
Yeah.
because he knew
Yeah.
you have to focus.
Yeah.
You have to keep your focus forward on
Maybe that's
everything.
it.
Everything else goes away. You can't think about
Yeah.
other stuff. You have to, you have to be,
That's probably it.
and that's it. You have to
That was a very deep statement.
It certainly was, and I love him for that. And
Yeah.
I always take the opportunity to tell him that when I see him.
Yeah.
Dr. Smith, you gave me the best prescription ever.
That's true. And
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
So go.
I just thought it was right, but you're right. It takes your mind off everything
Just-
else because you got to focus.
You got to focus on the road and what's going
And
on
the
around you,
people
and
around
the
you,
people
yeah.
and those other cars that don't see
Yeah,
you.
looking at texting on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I scratch my head sometimes when I see motorcyclists with the radios.
Yeah,
How can they pay attention if you're listening? Anyways, that's just
You're bebopping.
that's just me. I just want to see
Yeah.
where I'm going. So you can do that and
Yeah.
whatever else, and you got grandchildren.
Maybe
Look,
golfing again. I
There
always
you go.
enjoyed that. Never good at it, but it's fun. It's so beautiful out there with your surroundings.
Yeah.
And
you go out with three of your buddies, and you spend
Start
half a
laughing at
day.
each other.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah.
And fishing, of course, I enjoy that.
yeah. Now the Swift River is here.
Yeah,
What- yeah.
it's toward that.
Well, there's three
toward
rivers.
Belchertown. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 rivers.
It's you got to go through Thorndike and hit the Swift River. Right
Yeah,
there.
and then over
I mean,
3 rivers.
God, Bondsville. I'm sorry.
Bonneville, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes you right to it.
Well, there's plenty of opportunity around here. Yeah.
And I used to fly fish like when I was tying my own ties.
Yeah,
when I was
yeah.
Like 14, 15. I love that. And someone
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a clean out and got me a whole garbage bag full of the
Feathers?
feathers you
Oh,
use.
yeah.
And from a 1950s book, how to
Yeah.
tie. And I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
remember, but all the mechanisms you need. And he
Yeah.
goes, Carl, you were talking about fly fishing. I go, yeah, he gave me it all.
Yeah,
The guy was going to throw it out.
I used to tie flies as well.
yeah.
And now I look at it, it's like, what?
Yeah, I know. I'll have to read the book again.
How did I do this? Because you got the little device and everything is
Yeah,
small
the
now,
hook
and you get
goes on
it's
that
like, what? Now I buy them.
stand.
I go up to Deerfield Fly Shop and buy a few
Oh,
here.
I heard about that place.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
want to head up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's got it all spread out.
A whole little box of his homemade flies, whoever this
Yeah.
was, and there's probably about 40 of them in
Yeah.
there. And they're beautiful. They look just
Yeah.
like the bugs or the
Yeah.
flies they're supposed to look like. And
So I haven't gone out yet this year, but I got
haven't either.
last year. I resurrected all my fly rods because a friend of mine is retired and he's going back to fishing. So I said, oh, okay. Well, I had to do some work on the rods and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I got some new flies. I went to Deerfield and
yeah.
looked around and got some new stuff because I don't know if your fly line is over several years old, throw it away because it starts to disintegrate.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
Whatever. So it's getting back into that too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's something about you make the fly or you make the bait and you catch something with it.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
something different, thrilling about that.
And and even if you don't catch something, a day spent fishing is
wonderful.
is a day.
That's what I try to get into the granddaughter's head. It doesn't matter if you don't catch anything. It's just the fun of us all being together.
And we're out here in nice weather and aren't too many bugs maybe. And,
maybe.
And you're in tune with nature. You see turtles and whatever you see. Yeah.
All kinds of things.
And a lot of the fishing around here, at least north of here, is catch and release.
Yeah. The river is too part of it.
Yeah, so you can, you don't have to.
I like to eat the ocean fish more than the freshwater.
Yeah.
Freshwater, I would like them smoked, and a bluefish too. That's the only way you can eat that, I think.
Bluefish, yeah.
Those are rough. Someone once told me a thing. If you catch a bluefish, put it next to a brick. Take the brick and put it on the barbecue, and throw the bluefish out. And eat the brick. It goes something like that.
Something's good stuff.
Yeah.
So here we are, 2024, and you've been at this for 40 some years now.
Yeah, off and on. Yeah, just away for a little while.
So you got a whole life here. You got out in the farm and running racehorses and going to Europe and wow.
I lived a full life.
Yeah,
I was fortunate. My parents were so nice.
Yeah.
And decent. I tell people until I got out of the home, 18, going to college, I go, why do people treat other people like this? I couldn't even fathom it. It was like a Leave It to Beaver life, I had. Until I left.
Well, we all had a version of that,
Yeah.
And living out in the rural areas,
our age too.
Yeah, I think
even
so.
Yours was better.
And living out in a rural area, and especially this kind of weather in the winter, we were outside all the time.
All the time.
So we were never really at home.
Yeah.
Just be home for dinner.
Yeah.
Or be home before dark.
Or to do your homework before you had to go.
Yeah, and we would wander miles, get on those bikes, and we would wander to the next town over, the next town over there.
It was safer back then.
Yeah. Not as much traffic, first of all. And it was just there was fewer people, perhaps, but we would hike through the woods for hours, and
We'd camp out there. We'd stay
there.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So you learn. So as boys, we learned how to do stuff.
Yeah. Make a fire, make a fort. And then Boy Scouts, they teach you the rest.
Yeah, and also, oh crap, what am I thinking of? Forgot now.
Yeah. You're independent out there.
Independent out there, that's right.
You have to do it or you're going to starve.
Yeah, and I know what it was. In those days, since we were out in rural areas, we always had a jackknife.
Oh, yeah.
You always had a knife in your pocket.
You had to have it.
You had to have one.
Yeah.
Now,
Now you get in trouble for it, probably.
Well, I remember, bringing it to school.
Yeah.
Only because it was always in my pocket.
Even during hunting, they used to store their shotguns on the back window on the rack and just go to school with it and then go after. Or you'd be arrested in 2 seconds.
I was going to say, carrying a jackknife in my pocket, you wouldn't stand a chance.
No, metal detectors.
Yeah.
There you go, frisked.
Well, it's a different world than it was when we were kids.
I don't think it's for the better, but.
Well, we seem to be getting on each other's nerves a lot.
Yeah.
And I suppose we did then too, but when we were kids, you didn't
shake it off.
You just didn't notice a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so, geez, Carl, you packed it all in so far, and you still have miles to go.
And there's probably a bunch of stuff I forgot, but.
Well, there's always stuff you live out and you forget.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed. You went to Europe, like I always wish I had.
You still can. But
yeah, well, backpacking would be a bit of
that'd be harder.
That would be harder to do.
100-pound backpack on your back.
Yeah, but those are the days when in the early '60s when that's what you did. If you didn't have any real idea what you were going to do next, you graduated from college or even high school.
Yeah.
You do Jack Kerouac. You jump in your car and you drive across the country and you go see stuff and and that kind of thing.
And people are always nice to each other.
Yeah.
Not always, but more
so than ever.
Now.
Yeah. So live a life of some sort of adventure, and you can look back and say, yeah, I did that and the other thing.
Yeah, it's been a good ride.
Yeah, well, you still have miles to go, and
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're still going to be on the town council for
Oh yeah, I just got
reelected?
back in.
Aha.
Reelected, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I sweated out. There was supposed to be someone to run against me, and
yeah.
they couldn't get enough of the signatures
Yeah.
or the right ones. They went all over town when you have to be in your
Right,
district,
right.
unless you're at large.
Right.
And I got mine in on time, just on time. And I heard he was going to do a write-in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think anything come of it. But
Well, you're good for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Or 2 years, whatever your term is.
yeah, three years.
Yeah. And Palmer seems to be
We're
doing okay.
moving ahead.
Yeah.
I was on the committee for the train stop,
Oh yeah.
and we got him to finally stop here.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the committee to pick a spot where it's gonna be.
Wow.
And there's like 2, 3, or 4 different spots they're looking at.
So this is a passenger
So-
service
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna have a stop finally, and I don't
between Boston.
remember. Yeah, Boston and Springfield.
And Springfield.
Worcester, Pittsfield. You can go, and then from there you can go anywhere you want to go.
Yeah.
So
No
it'd be
kidding.
cool
That's
to ride
wonderful.
into Boston, not worry about the traffic coming over.
Oh,
the Red
God,
Sox
yes.
Game or something.
Yeah.
You know, that's awesome.
Good. Well, you're making a difference.
I'm trying to.
Well, you're making a
Well,
difference.
we all are. It's
You
not-
all are, and they vote you back in because they figure he's doing a job.
Yeah.
You
Or
know.
maybe no one wants it.
Or nobody wants to do it. Oh no, can't, no,
know.
please, no, I don't want to do that. It's
But
too.
I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and my fellow counselors and the new town manager, they're all very nice.
Yeah, good. Wow. Okay,
Not too much fighting, which is good.
that's always good.
Yeah.
You know, people actually don't like that.
No, it's
know,
uncomfortable.
Get business done. You know.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have to. You can argue and fight if you want, off stage, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, not there.
you're here to get stuff done.
More businesses in.
Yeah.
More growth. In the '70s, there used to be so many storefronts and working
Yeah, yeah,
around
yeah.
here, and then slowly, the big box stores or whatever you call them, they slowly went away.
A lot of the industry went away, and
Yeah.
all the retail goes with it.
Oh yeah,
You know.
all the factories in here. The way they say it, 50 years, 50 businesses have left.
Yeah.
You know, to get cheaper labor or whatever, better
Yeah, sure.
taxes, and yeah,
Yeah, we kind of got. Well, whatever. We could.
yeah, I know.
That's a whole other. That's a whole other
We're
discussion.
on tape. You better
We're,
not
we,
speak of it.
we better behave ourselves. Other than the fact that what we know is that in New England, especially,
Yeah,
well, in the Midwest as well, all of New England, all the textile mills, all the manufacturing that we had that supported communities
yeah,
from Maine to New York City
yeah,
for generations
yeah.
gradually went away.
Went away. Cheaper labor.
Cheaper labor, whatever. Textiles moved south, and then they moved overseas. Everything went overseas,
Yeah,
and so we're left with in Palmer and Munson and so
Yeah,
forth,
yeah.
empty mill buildings. And
yeah,
I know in Easthampton they managed to turn that around. That
Yeah.
they
apartments. and
apartments,
something.
condos, and artist studios.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that on
So-
the channel the other day.
So everybody is, they were able to make, reuse that stuff.
Yeah,
Doesn't always happen, but that's
Yeah.
what that's the reality
Good
of
thing.
the globe.
Yeah.
And
the buildings are still nice and
Yeah.
just doctor the inside, maybe outside. Who
Yeah.
knows?
so,
That's good.
and we're New Englanders. We have,
Hardy.
we're hardy, and we have ingenuity, and
Yeah.
we'll figure it out,
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah,
It doesn't always work out,
it'll
but
be okay.
Palmer is right in the you're right in the mainstream here.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good for you.
yeah, it's beautiful. We got good traffic through here, and
Yeah,
it's got to get, the speculators should be coming in with the railroad stop here, so
yeah,
everyone's think they're going to get a million for their house or whatever, but the commuters, you never know.
If it's easier to get from here to Boston,
Mm-hmm.
that was years ago. There was a big boom. You can get from Worcester to Boston,
Yeah.
and people in Northeast Connecticut, were able to commute
To Worcester, yeah.
into Worcester and into Boston. Wasn't such a
Right.
stretch.
No?
And now, if you could get, because population moves further out,
Yeah.
you can't buy. normal people can't afford a house east of Worcester.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
So if the transportation is made available, people will come. So looks, it could be Palmer's going to have a little bit of a renaissance with population, people needing places to live. And you'll be right there.
I'm hoping it will.
And you'll be right there saying, Town Council, this is, you're going to have your name on the plaque. Saying,
Infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond, yes indeed.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, Carl.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot for taking the time.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Got to know a little bit more about you and what you've done with your life, from thoroughbred racehorses to a diner in Palmer.
Well, I fed him and picked up the poop.
Well, but nevertheless, that's very interesting. Yeah. So, folks, once again, we're here at the Day and Night Diner. We're talking to Carl Williams, the proprietor, Town Council on the town of Palmer. Yeah. I was going to say City of Palmer, but it's still a town.
It's a town, yeah.
And it's here on the main drag, North Main Street. So if anybody's on their way to Brimfield Flea Market in July and September, stop by. We're right here. Cummings is next to you.
Come and say hi.
Come on and say hi. Have breakfast, and you'll have a
golden day.
You'll have a golden day. That's right.
It. That's a catchphrase.
That's the catchphrase. Have a golden day.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, from all of us to all of you, I'm still Ted Perch, and I'm still the host of this program. And we'll see you next time on In Studio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parting words would be relax, have fun, and rest easy.
And aloha.
Aloha. Aloha. Thank you.